Parties and Jessie are on their way right over. They were having an early dinner. What about Lesley? Haven't been able to get her. Evidently, she's on her way to pick me up.
She's gonna love this.
Just don't understand this, not at all.
You don't understand it. How about me?
Amy, I want to talk to that nurse who was with you in ICU. I'll talk to everybody in this hospital if I have to find out what happened.
Uncle Martin.
Hello, Noah.
Oh, this is a surprise.
I'm repaying you in kind. It's quite a shock you gave me.
What? What shock?
Withdrawing such a large sum of money from one of the family funds.
Ah, that is...
Like an explanation.
Yay! All right, gentlemen, it's showtime. Break out the bubbly. Drink down the house.
Hey, Big Fiddler, it's not your house.
But we're celebrating.
Why are we celebrating?
I still can't believe it.
You found oil.
Well, you tasted it yourself. She drank oil? Salty, right?
It was awful. I loved it.
I drank some ink once when I was a kid, but I never tasted the oil.
Would somebody please tell me what you're talking about?
Did you strike oil? Almost.
How do you almost strike oil?
You strike water. Water? Salt water. That must have tasted bad.
We're celebrating because you struck salt water?
Don't you know what that means?
It means you buy your own champagne, dear.
Surf's up.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Well, the rig is spewing up all this salt water, and that's a sure sign. Sure sign of what, fish?
Oil! Oh, of course, like in the movies.
And you know all about that.
I never played opposite a gusher, darling.
Well, you will now, darling. We're on a roll. It's going to be boomtown from here on. Where is the champagne? Champagne, I'm ready.
Bring on the champagne, darling. We did it.
Well, I wish you'd let us know that you do.
Well, all I can say is thank God for the luck of the English.
That's Irish. Luck of the Irish.
They all look alike to me.
What about the Australians?
Better looking, but less lucky.
Oh.
Do you think money will change us?
Well, at least we know we'll be richer.
Will we be happy?
Believe me, happiness is highly overrated.
So is poverty as a virtue.
Or wealth as a vice.
Oh, look, Jackie's article.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. You did a great job of really summing up this Corso situation.
And now I intend to pay it off. I am going to write that oil story for Ian. Every word of it exclusive. I want to get it out by tomorrow's edition, so I better get started.
Forget it.
What do you mean, forget it?
No story. Not yet.
What's the problem?
Oh, but the problem is we don't even know if there's oil there yet.
Well, I will put that in my article.
Do you think that's going to make any difference to the people in this town?
Well, I thought finding salt water meant that there was a good chance of finding oil.
Well, it does. I mean, if we're not absolutely sure, we're certainly quite close.
Well, close is not good enough.
Then why are we celebrating? We're here discussing how we're all going to be rich and there's no oil. What is this?
Look, Jackie, we hit salt water. I'm not going to have everybody in Port Charles waving money at us, thinking that there's some oil there if there isn't oil there, because nobody ever got rich on salt water.
Can you hold off a bit longer?
By the time I'm allowed to write this article, everybody's going to know it's some exclusive.
Look, we're just not ready. You print it now, and that's all that's going to happen. People are going to come out of the woodwork waving money at us, and they're going to want to invest. And then we're in no position to allow that to happen. We can't even answer their questions as it is.
Don't you think they should have the chance to be in on it?
Well, absolutely, once we know that there's something for them to be in on. I'm not going to let a bunch of innocent people that I care about just come barging in here, throwing their money on the ground, just because of a dumb newspaper article. I'm sorry, Jackie, no story.
Hey, listen. Come on, stay, have a drink. I mean, after all, it is a celebration.
I'm not quite feeling festive right now.
All right, here's the champagne.
Oh, Blackie, that's the wrong champagne, darling. The good champagne is behind the lettuce in the vegetable crisp.
How can I miss it?
You trying to tell me that you hide your best booze?
Darling, with all the freeloaders around here, darling, a girl has to keep her valuables here.
Well, where do you hide your other goodies? In the biscuit tin?
No, actually, I hide them in the heater in the bathroom.
Here, let me do it.
Ah! Oh, are aren't you going to call your doctor?
Oh, darling, I feel wonderful. Why would I? Oh, that doctor. Oh, I forgot. Could you do that, Blackie, please?
Sure. Okay, who wants champagne over here?
You're being a bit rough on her, weren't you, mate?
Look, Robert, I don't want to hurt her, but I have to protect the people in this town.
Well, now, she's only trying to do her job. I mean, not harm anyone.
In this case, I think they're the same thing.
But look, can't she write the story like writing around it instead of coming straight out and saying that there's oil in Port Charles? Huh?
Jackie Templeton, are you crazy? You think she can write a story like that? And if she did, do you think her editor would print it?
Probably not.
There's not a chance, man. I am not letting her tell the story straight. Not yet. There's too much at stake.
Yeah, probably her job.
I gotta get some air.
Oil. Here in Port Charles. Don't you find that just a little hard to swallow?
It's not impossible.
No, it isn't. It isn't impossible that I'd be elected president either, but I don't think I'd put any money on it.
Probably make a good president.
Well, I'm going to take that as a compliment. I don't know whether it was intended that way or not. No, I don't know very much about oil.
Neither do I, but I am over 21, and the money is just as much mine as it is anybody else's. I mean, surely I can do what I want with it.
Within reason.
Well, of course. I mean, you know how cautious I am.
I thought I did.
Uncle Martin, this is a deal I cannot pass up.
No, you don't know the first thing about oil. Making a safe investment about oil is rank somewhere between, the Edsel and a politician.
Now, the Corso family doesn't seem to think so.
The Corso family. Here? Well,
They're interested in getting involved.
that puts a different light on matters. Why didn't you tell me that before?
Hoping that you would trust my judgment a little for a change.
Didn't want you to go off half-cocked. I'm thinking of your interests.
Yeah, and yours.
It's all in the family. Now, if the Corsos are involved, you may have something. The Corsos only get involved in the most lucrative kind of projects.
Well, meaning I don't?
No, surely you must know that it would take a lifetime in international finance to really properly understand the oil market.
All right, point's taken. I mean, how am I ever going to get anywhere if you're watching every single step I make with these investments?
All right. I grant you I've probably made a mistake there. But I was just worried lest you hadn't done your proper homework about this. Apparently, it seems you have.
Why? Because the Corsos were involved?
I dare say that you are aware that they were involved with the Iranian negotiations.
Yes. I don't think that was as important as the press conference they had with the Wall Street Journal, though.
If you read that, you must know about the Saudi Arabian embargo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't just read medical journals, you know. I mean, I wish you would trust my judgment a little more.
I'm sorry. I had thought that you were mainly tied up with your medical life and operations. I didn't realize that you had started to be interested in political economics.
And you can't blame me for wanting to get into oil.
No, I can't. Besides which, I might just give a little money of my own if you let me.
Well, like you say, it's all in the family. It's, Tiffany's the one that brought the deal to me. I'll have to ask her.
Okay.
Hello?
No, I have the most wonderful news to tell you.
Wow, we were just talking about you. We? Yeah, my uncle, Senator Drake is here.
Oh, well, I hope you say nice things.
Of course we are. What's the news?
Salt water is spurting out of the well, and do you know what that means?
Oil?
How did you know?
I've seen the movies.
Aren't you thrilled to death?
That's fabulous.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited.
I couldn't imagine a better time for it to come. I was just explaining the deal to Uncle Martin here.
Oh, wonderful.
A wonderful investment.
Oh, that's great. Now we have proof.
Yes, we do. I can't wait to congratulate you personally.
Uh-huh. Have you and your uncle eaten yet?
I'll check it. Have you eaten yet, Uncle Martin? Well, I'll take him out to dinner. Do you want to come along?
I have a better idea. Why don't you bring your uncle here? We have a lot of champagne, and I'll send out the keys.
Well, you probably talked me into it.
And I'd love to see your uncle also. It's been a long time. Besides, I want to give you a great big hug for all of your help.
You talked me into it. Put the keys in the oven.
Keys?
You wanted to see me, Dr. Weber?
Yes, I understand you were attending Buster Jacobs. Is that correct?
Yes, until the new nurse relieved me. Is there something wrong?
He just died.
Oh, no. Well, he seemed so stabilized.
Yes, we all thought that. Can you tell me anything about the nurse who relieved you?
Well, I had never seen her before.
Can you describe her?
Well, I was only with her for a moment. She looked like any other nurse.
What does that mean? Did she say anything to you?
Only that Dr. Hardy was concerned that the ICU nurses were under too much strain and that he wanted us to take more breaks.
Amy, do you know anything about this?
First I've heard of it.
We'll have to ask Steve when he gets here. Anyone know where this new nurse went?
I have no idea.
ICU was empty when we ran in and found Buster dead.
Well, there's supposed to be at least one nurse on duty there at all times.
Of course.
Excuse me. I was working upstairs. I heard what happened. Is there anything I can do?
Not now, Brian. Thank you very much.
Miss, is there anything you remember about this nurse?
I'm sorry.
Amy, how about you?
I told you everything I know.
Do you know how Buster died?
Yes, his heart just stopped beating.
But why?
That's what I'd like to find out, Brian.
I know what you're thinking. Packy.
Yes.
Could he be next?
Well, I'm going to make sure that we don't find out before it's too late. Brian, you get Packy out of the Croydon Hotel. Take him someplace where he's safe and protected until we know exactly what's coming up next.
Do you think somebody's out to get Packy?
Why not? He's the only witness we have left who can tell us what happened to Johnny's fight. Why do I have this feeling that someone never wants us to find out exactly what happened at Johnny's fight?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because witnesses are being kidnapped, suspects are dying, evidence is disappearing.
That could be it.
Oh, now, wait a minute,
What about
fellas.
the
sponge, Rick?
You still think Scotty has it?
Absolutely no question. And if you can spare me a minute, I'll go get it.
Don't do anything foolish.
No, foolish is what I did a year ago by getting mixed up with Heather.
We're not talking about Heather. We're talking about Scotty.
I don't want him. Just a sponge.
Hi, folks. I'm sorry. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Rick, what's going on?
Buster Jacobs just died.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I don't think you called us back to tell me that.
1 minute he was just fine, Steve. He was recuperating. The next minute he was dead. The last person to see him alive was a new relief nurse in ICU who no one has ever seen before.
I don't understand what you're getting at.
Did you at any time today tell the nurses in ICU that they were to have more breaks because of the pressure, the strain they were under?
I certainly did not. Why do you ask?
Well, it happens to be the story that this particular relief nurse gave to the regular nurse. Shortly thereafter, Buster was dead.
I gave no such order.
Jesse.
Absolutely not. We haven't had a relief nurse today.
You're certain?
Perfectly, but I'll double check it.
Oh, Jesse, you might call all department heads and nurses' stations. Find out who this nurse is and if she's still in the building.
Yes, even if she's gone, someone may have a better description of her, Jesse.
Well, I'd better get back to the station. Now, Rick, you will keep me posted.
You'll be the first one to know, especially if this turns out to not be an accidental death.
Good, thank you. Excuse me.
Thanks very much.
Mr. Corso?
Yes.
John Robbins, foreman at the oil site.
Oh, yes, John. We were expecting to hear from you. How did it go?
Perfect, sir. It looks just like the real thing.
Good. Well, then you've done very well. If you'd like to come over to the penthouse, you could pick up your money.
Well, I'll be right there, Mr.
Good. Be careful. We don't want you recognized coming up here.
Don't worry about that, sir. I know just the thing.
Good.
What are you doing?
Sitting.
Would you please get off that?
I'm not going to jump. All right. Feel better?
you stand a little company?
If the company can stand me.
Don't you think you were a little hard on Jackie? After all, somebody's going to write that story. Isn't it better if it's a friend who we know won't blow it out of proportion?
Well, what difference does it make? No matter how accurate the story is, people are going to flip out. What am I going to do when all of my friends want to invest?
It's their money.
It's my responsibility. Something about taking people's life savings makes me a little nervous. If I could do the whole thing myself, believe me, I would.
Really, aren't you?
Yes. And I'm scared.
You?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared people are going to get in this over their heads and I won't be able to save them.
You want to see the oil gushing?
I want to swim in it. I want to come sliding right into the middle of Port Charles and go, all right, Port Charles, eat it. Now.
Can you see you doing that?
Well, until I can, I'm capping the excitement around here.
You're a funny man.
You're not laughing.
Don't you want to be rich? Everybody else does. Don't you want everything that money's supposed to bring?
Of course, I want it so much I can taste it. It's all I've ever dreamed about all my life is being rich, powerful, having everything that all that buys.
I can just see you lording it over the peasants.
No. Not that way. I did a lot of growing up. Not too long ago. I made some pretty terrible mistakes. The people that I worked for, the syndicate people, they ripped so many people off. They had no feelings for anyone. They took their hard-earned money and they just never looked back.
I didn't know you worked for the syndicate.
Well, it's not something I'd brag about. Happened a long time ago, but it taught me a few things. You know, if you watch enough bodies twist in the wind, you recognize what a noose looks like.
You can't keep people from hurting themselves.
No, but I can sure damn well make sure that I don't help them put a rope around their neck.
I understand that, but...
But what?
You're a complicated man, Luke Spencer.
Well, I don't know if that's supposed to be good or bad.
Neither do I. You care about people. You're straight with them and you expect the same.
You make it sound like it's something to apologize for.
Oh, of course not, but it can make things difficult.
I do my best.
Damn it! You're not like you're supposed to be.
Well, how do you know how I'm supposed to be?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting confused.
Well, you can say that again. Do you even know what we're talking about?
Oh, I know I'm not making any sense.
That's okay, English. I like to hear you rattle on.
Did you let Jackie write the story? I mean, if she doesn't, Ian will, and if you want to panic, that's the way to do it.
You really feel for her, don't you?
That's not it.
Talk about me caring. Here you are. You're defending a woman that you barely even know.
No, it's not like that.
Tell me that you're only thinking of yourself.
I'm only thinking of myself.
Tell me that you're only in this for the money.
I'm only in this for the money.
Tell me that you'd take us all for a ride if you could.
Will you stop it?
I'll have to think about Jackie and her article. Right now, I'm not sure.
Neither am I. About anything.
down all the way to Saudi Arabia to find out about that oil.
I took quite a few notes, Mr. Quartermain.
Yeah, well, I expected as much. Well, what did you find out?
Well, there's a lot of activity on the site. It certainly looks authentic. This morning they brought up salt water. That, of course, is a positive indication.
Oil. They have struck oil.
Well, no, not yet, but all the signs do point in that direction.
They really did it. And they did it without me. Well, no wonder the Corsos was sniffing around. They must have smelled that oil coming from miles away.
It's impossible, sir. Oil that far beneath the surface wouldn't give off any scent.
Randall, I want you to nose around. I want to know exactly what the Corsos are up to. You don't suppose they could have made a deal with Spencer yet?
Well, I can find out.
Oh, you know where they're staying?
Yes, sir, at the Harbor Towers. I'll go over there right away.
Good. I want to know exactly what their plans are.
Call obstetrics.
Rick.
Online.
Where'd you get in?
They just let me in the emergency exit. I just heard about this. This is terrible.
Don't worry. I'll handle this. I'll find out what's going on, all right?
I'll tell you what's going on. Our involvement in the world of big-time boxing is trouble. It has been from the word go, and it's just getting worse now.
Lesley, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. A man just died. We're not talking about muggings or breaking into houses anymore. We're talking about people dying. Who's next,
Hey,
us?
you're jumping to conclusions.
Buster was getting better. Rick, you told me that yourself. He was getting better, and then some nurse that nobody has ever seen before, and nobody can find now, waltzes in here looking for him, and the man who was getting better died.
Buster could have died of natural causes.
You don't believe that.
We don't know anything for sure.
How come
Not
you're
yet.
not convincing me?
Well, I was trying.
Mm-hmm. Try and convince yourself. You're just as worried as I.
I have taken precautions. Packy is being moved. He'll be guarded someplace safe until we find out what's going on.
What about us?
Excuse me, Dr. Weber. I just found this nurse's uniform discarded in the basement. It was stuffed in a soiled linen bin.
Tag says Buffalo. Buffalo, a rental house there.
Really? That's very strange.
Call Ramsey, get him on it. Let's take this up to Steve. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't understand what this means.
How am I doing, Georgie?
Great, baby, but just a little slow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, George, it's Brad Simpson.
Hey, Brad, the lad. How's everything up in Port Charles?
Well, that old coot croaked. You remember, the one you used to fix fights?
Buster's dead? Oh, gee, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, remind me to send him some flowers, okay?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hey, listen, I'm supposed to hear anything. You make sure I hear right away. You got me?
Hey, George, enjoy your vacation, huh?
Yeah.
Roll over, lover. I'll do your back.
Huh? That'll keep. I gotta make a call. Hey, why don't you go powder your nose or something, huh?
But Georgie, it's oily.
Get a lube job. Get out of here. Yeah, Dernley. Listen, I got a job to be done. Is Marty there?